Hi everyone, this is Connie from Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. Today I am taking part in the DIY Wood Project challenge. The host for this challenge is Zana from OK at Home DIY, and her co-host is Marsha from Marsha's Mush and Stuff. So let's get right into this. Okay, so what I ended up getting was what's called Luan. It is a type of plywood. It's quite thin, and I had just 2 pieces sitting out in my garage, so that I'm going to use both of them for 2 different projects. So the first one, I am just covering it in white paint. I end up doing 2 coats to cover up that color, or it's very porous. So I'm trying to cover it up so that whatever paint I put on top of the white will not soak in, because the white is soaking in just fine. So it will end up being able to sit on top and be quite opaque. So I'm just getting this completely coated, and then when I am done, I am going to move on to the next step. Okay, as you can see, that is finished with the 2 coats, and now I am going to grab, after I dry it with my heat gun, of course, I'm going to grab my Waverly Antique wax, and I'm just going to coat it and then use a paper towel and just wipe it back off, and I get a very weathered wood type of look, which I really like. So once I get done with that, getting it all wiped off, then I move on to the next step. So don't forget to go down into the description box. Oh, here I'm dry brushing white over it. So don't forget to go down to the description box. Down there will be a link to the playlist. It will also have a link to both Zana and Marsha's channel, and I also have my Linktree link in there as well. It will take you where I have all my links for Amazon and YouTube, all on there. So, and I am a Plaid ambassador. I'm also an Amazon affiliate. Okay, so once I get this finished, I grab some tumbling blocks and I glue them end to end. And I think I use, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 blocks. But 8 is not enough, 9 is too much. So I ended up using my miter shears and I cut them. And then I painted them black. And then I am putting them along each side. Now, when I get to the that part, I'd already cut them actually, because they fit perfectly. So I had already cut those. I only had to trim like a ½ an inch off each one of them. So now I lost a lot of my footage on what I did with this, but I did put Mod Podge over it, and I let it sit overnight so that it could cure. And then I went to my Cricut and I made the words. Now I lost the footage for most of that, and I'm still struggling a little bit. So I'm working at it. So trying to get my technique down with the Cricut, but it ends up working out. So here I am, just pulling off the contact paper, and when I started pulling this up, I don't know if you see it, it starts pulling the paint up. So, but this is what it ended up looking like at the end. I fixed it and it worked out perfectly. So now let's go to the second one. Here's another piece of that Luan, and I'm putting nutmeg brown on this. I just wanted a brown type of a look, and I'm using my heat gun, and then I'm going to use a little bit of black and just dry brush it just so it looks more like wood. Then when I am done with this, I grab my white paint pen or marker, and I end up drawing. First I used a planter and went around the circle, the bottom of it, and then I'm just going to freehand the petals to a flower. So I'm just, like I said, I am totally freehanding this. I love to draw and paint flowers, so this is really fun to me, and it turned out amazing, and I hope you guys end up liking this. I absolutely loved it. And here I am thinking, okay, though that petal's not quite big enough, so, and I go ahead and put that last petal on. Now I'm going to grab my white chalk paint that I make, and I am going to fill in those petals. So I'm just using a smaller brush so that I don't accidentally go over my lines, and I'm just going to fill in all of these petals. So also I wanted to tell you that I have started a second challenge each month. It's called Here's Your Crown, Women Supporting Women. And all women creators is welcome. And I have a group on Instagram. And if you want to be a part of it, let me know. The first group is just about full, so I'll open up a second group once it gets filled up. Now this is a reoccurring challenge. It's going to be the first Saturday of every month, and what we're only asking is, and Devin from Freckled Mom is my co-host, and all we're asking is for 3 to 5 projects, and one of them has to be inspired by a woman creator, as well as you can talk about them and let everybody know how they inspired you or helped you or whatever in your journey of your channel. So here I'm just painting away. As you can see, I took a little bit of gray, and I'm just putting in, it's hard to say what that actually is. I guess it's shadowing, making it look like an actual petal. So, and once I get done with that, and I'm using like the gray, and then I'm going back to a little bit of white, and then I put some lines that was too dark, so I had to go back in and lighten those up. I didn't want them that dark. You'll see in a minute where I just go way too dark on that far right last petal. And I'm like, and I had to go back and fix it. So then I am taking some bright yellow paint, and I'm just going to start painting the inside of that. Now, this yellow is very translucent, so there's not really good coverage. So I had to put 2 coats so that I could get a much better coverage on this flower. So I go ahead and I get that all done. My husband ends up bringing me a cup of tea like he always does every day. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish painting that yellow in. And like I said, I end up putting 2 coats of the yellow on there. You can see right through it, and I want it to be much more opaque. So I'm going ahead and I'm just adding more of that yellow to get that much better coverage. And then what I'm going to grab is I'm going to use some orange and some red. And here I am with the orange or the red. I can't remember. Oh, that's more yellow. I decided I needed more yellow just to get the edging. And there was some little areas on it that was not quite opaque enough. I'm just making sure my edging is all just perfect. Okay, now is when I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and grab those other colors. Once I stop playing with yellow, I've forgotten how long it took me. And I even have this sped up a little bit. Okay, now I'm getting the other colors. First, I got to put that extra yellow back in the bottle. I hate wasting paint, so I always end up putting it back in there. So now I'm getting, I needed a little bit of white on that one little spot right there. I had gone too wide, and that's why I ended up having to put a little bit more dark color in that last petal, because I messed up. So here I grabbed the black, which I probably shouldn't have done the black. I probably should have done the gray, because you can immediately see that it's too dark. So I go back to the white and I muddy it up, and it's still too dark. So finally I get it closer to what I want, and I just left it at that. I think it's been a few days, I don't remember, but all of these paints are Plaid paints. I'm using Folk Art and Cream Coat and Appleboro. Okay, so here's an orange, and I'm getting a red, and I'm going to put them both on there. Actually, I start with just the orange first, and it's also getting a little bit mixed in with what the yellow is, a little bit of that yellow, and I'm just kind of going around and just to get it in so it's tight in on the edging. And then because the yellow is still wet quite a bit, I can use it for blending. Okay, I'm going to start moving up down with those colors because I just want it to be like not shading, but fading or changing from one color to the next. And this is where I get my red, or that's the wrong red. I end up getting the other red. And I start doing the red. I kind of mix the red and the orange together so that I could get a bit more of a muddier color. And I just, as you can see, I started at the top, and I'm just going to blend down into that orange, because, and I was like, oh, I need more orange, or no more yellow. Yeah, a little bit more yellow, because I needed to blend it, because the yellow was starting to get dry. So, and I'm using just the same brush. I'm not changing brushes. I want all those different colors in there, and you can see that by changing and going back and forth. Actually, I do have two brushes. I forgot. I didn't even remember. Okay, so I keep working on this until I get the color exactly the way I want it to be. And I just, like I said, I kind of blended it, and it ended up turning out beautiful. I loved the way it ended up turning out. Just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just using a stipple brush and kind of blending it more, because I wanted it to, I don't want no sharp edging. I don't want it to look like I drew lines. I wanted it to look like it was a flower. And so I'm just working it, making sure, and I could still see a yellow line, so I'm taking that mixed red and orange and going around just the edge so that you don't see the yellow right there, and so it'll be just a tiny bit darker closer to the petals. So that's what I wanted it to look like. Okay, now after I stipple that all up, then I am going to use a Mod Podge on it once it dries. And here it's already done, and I made that stencil on my Cricut, and I didn't even realize when I was doing this that part of my M was missing. I don't have a clue how I missed that. So I Mod Podged over it again, and I let it sit for a day, and then I noticed it, and so I had to make another stencil and cut off part of the M and put it on there. So as you can see, it says welcome. I end up putting a jute hanger for it so that you can hang it up on the wall. So here I am just putting Mod Podge all over it. I hope you guys like these two projects. I really enjoyed doing them. Like I said, don't forget to go down in the description box. Also, if you could give me a big old thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, that helps my channel grow, as well as hit that notification bell. If you hit it twice, you can hit all. That means you're going to get a notification for every single time I upload a video. So, also, please leave me comments. I absolutely getting comments, responding to comments. So, yes, I really, really, really like them. And if I forgot, welcome to my channel. If you are new, I am so glad you're here. And if you're already a subscriber, hey, I am so glad you're back. And I hope you guys all really, totally enjoyed these two projects. And if you don't know what Luan or never heard of it, it is a type of plywood. It's just a really thin plywood. So here's the final project. You can see I fixed the M. And I hope you guys have a great week. And don't forget to be the Bible that somebody reads today, as well as you guys all have a very, very blessed week. Bye-bye.